Stop looking for the fireworks and start looking for the fireplace, because I am telling you right now that the biggest mistake you are making in your love life is thinking that the guy who buys you a drink and tells you that you look hot is the one who actually wants to know the real you. You want to know how men flirt when they actually like you, not just when they want to get lucky. You want to know the difference between a guy who is trying to get you into the bedroom and a guy who is trying to get into your head and your heart. It is not what you think it is. We have been sold this Hollywood narrative that a man in love or a man in deep like is going to come sweeping in with grand gestures and poetic speeches, but the reality of male psychology is messy and weird and honestly a little bit terrified. When a man really likes you, he does not just want to sleep with you, he wants to possess your attention and he wants to protect your energy. And that manifests in ways that are often confusing if you are looking for the standard pickup artist nonsense. So I want you to lean in and listen closely, because we are going to deconstruct the male ego and the male heart right here and right now. First off, let's talk about the concept of attention versus intention. A guy who just wants to have a bit of fun or get his end away is going to give you attention that feels like a spotlight. It is bright and it is intense and it is focused entirely on your physical appearance. He is going to tell you that your dress looks amazing or that you have a great body, and while that is flattering, it is also cheap. Compliments are the cheapest currency in the dating market. But when a man likes you, his flirting shifts from a spotlight on your body to a spotlight on your personality, and this is where it gets cheeky. One of the biggest signs of genuine intimacy-based flirting is what I call the roast. It sounds counterintuitive, right? Why would a guy who fancies you make fun of you? But think about how men bond with each other. We bond through banter. We bond through ribbing each other. If I am polite to you, it means I see you as a stranger or a colleague or someone I need to keep at a distance. But if I am teasing you about the way you pronounce a word or the fact that you watch trashy reality TV or the way you snort when you laugh, that is me trying to build a bridge. It is me saying, I see your quirks and I am comfortable enough to play with them. This is the playground dynamic. When we were 6 years old, we pulled the pigtails of the girls we liked, and honestly, we have not evolved that much. We just got better vocabulary. So if he is giving you a hard time in a playful way, that is not him being a jerk. That is him flirting with intent. He is testing the waters to see if you can handle his energy, and he is trying to create an inside joke. Intimacy is built on inside jokes. It is built on that shared language that only the two of you understand. If he creates a nickname for you or brings up something funny you did 3 weeks ago, he is building a catalog of you in his brain. That is investment. A guy who just wants a late night rendezvous does not have the memory space to remember that you hate cilantro or that you are obsessed with that one obscure band. He is operating on short-term memory. A guy who likes you is operating on long-term storage. Now let's talk about the physicality of it, but not the obvious stuff. We all know that if he is touching your leg under the table, he is interested physically. But the flirting that screams, I want you for more than just one night, is what I call the protective touch. This is subtle. It is the hand on the small of your back when he is guiding you through a crowded bar. It is not a grabby touch, it is a steering touch. It says, I am with her and she is with me. It is a claim. It is the way he might fix your collar or brush a stray hair out of your face. These are grooming behaviors. In the animal kingdom, grooming is a sign of bonding and trust. If he is fixing you up, he is taking care of you. It is a very primal way of saying, I value this person, and pay attention to the space between you. I call this the gravitational pull. When a man likes you, he subconsciously wants to eliminate the gap between you. If you are standing in a group of people, watch his feet. Are they pointed at you? Is he slowly inching closer to you, even if he is talking to someone else? That is his body betraying his brain. He wants to be in your orbit. And this leads to something really important, which is the silence. A guy who is just running game on you is terrified of silence, because silence breaks the spell. He has to keep talking to keep you entertained, to keep you from realizing he is full of rubbish. But a guy who genuinely likes you and feels that intimacy building, he will let the silence hang there. He will look at you during the pause. And that look is different. It is not the up and down scan where he is checking out your assets. It is the triangle gaze. He looks at one eye, then the other eye, then your mouth, and then back up. He is taking in your face. He is reading your micro expressions. If you catch him looking at you when you are not even talking, just watching you exist, that is massive. That is him wondering what it would be like to wake up next to you, not just sleep with you. And I want to address the elephant in the room, which is the topic of conversation. Men who only want a fling will steer the conversation toward the sensual very quickly. They will turn everything into an innuendo. And while a bit of that is fun and healthy, the man who likes you is going to flirt by challenging you. This is the intellectual flirt. He is going to ask you why you think that. He is going to disagree with you on something trivial just to see if you have a backbone. He wants to know that you are not just a pretty face. He wants to know that you are a challenge. High-value men, the kind of men you want to be with, are bored by easy. If you agree with everything he says, he might like the ego boost for a night, but he will not respect you in the morning. So when he challenges your opinion on the best pizza topping, or your political views, or your life philosophy that is him flirting, he is wrestling with your mind. He is trying to see if you are a sparring partner. Because let's be real, intimacy is not just two people gazing into each other's eyes, agreeing on everything. Real intimacy is friction. It is the sparks that fly when two distinct personalities rub against each other. So if he is debating you, do not take it as a sign he does not like you. Take it as a sign he is vetting you for the long haul. He is checking to see if you can hold your own. Now let's move to the digital flirting, because we live in a world where half of our courtship happens on a screen. How does a man flirt over text when he likes you versus when he just wants a booty call? The booty call text is predictable. It is late at night. It is short. It is YD or come over. It is low effort. But the guy who likes you flirts with context. He sends you a picture of something he saw during his day that reminded him of you. That is huge. That means you were on his mind when you were not physically present. He sends you a meme that relates to a conversation you had 3 days ago. That is the callback. He is engaging in a continuous thread of conversation. And look at the double text. There is this rule that you should never double text, but a guy who is enthusiastic about you will break the cool guy rules. He might text you a joke and then 10 minutes later send another text saying, "That was lame, I'm sorry," or adding more context. He is anxious about how he is being perceived by you. That anxiety is a good sign. It means he has stakes in the game. If he did not care, he would send the text and not think about it again. But if he is worrying about whether he sounded funny or smart, that means he is trying to impress you. And ladies, please understand that a man trying to impress you often looks like a man bragging. I know it can be annoying when a guy talks about his car or his job or how much weight he lifts. You sit there rolling your eyes thinking he is arrogant. But often, not always, but often this is him displaying his feathers. He is the peacock. He is saying, "Look at me, I am capable, I am successful, I can provide." It is clumsy, yes. It is not the most sophisticated form of flirting, but it comes from a place of wanting you to see him as a catch. If he is doing this coupled with asking you questions about yourself, then it is definitely flirting. If he is just talking about himself and never asks you a question, that is narcissism. Know the difference. The key is the exchange. Does he brag a bit and then look for your validation? Does he tell a story and then watch your reaction? He is looking for you to say, "Wow, that's impressive." He is a little boy showing his mum a drawing. Be kind to the peacock, even if he is a bit loud. Now I want to get into the deeper emotional flirting, which I call the vulnerability drop. This is rare, but when it happens, it is the gold standard. Most men are conditioned to be stoic. We are taught not to show weakness. So if you are on a date or just hanging out and he drops a little piece of armor, he admits he is stressed about work, or he talks about his family dynamic, or he mentions a fear he has that is him handing you a loaded gun. He is giving you the power to hurt him. He is flirting with the idea of trust. He is saying, "I feel safe enough with you to stop performing for a second." If you validate that, if you receive that with kindness, he will associate you with safety. And for a man, safety is the gateway to love. We often think men just want excitement and danger. No. We want excitement in the bedroom and safety in the heart. We want to know that when the world is beating us down, we have a sanctuary. So when he shares a struggle with you, that is an invitation to be his sanctuary. It is the highest form of flirting because it is saying, I want you on my team. And you will notice he starts using the we language. Listen for the pronouns. Does he say, I am going to that concert? Or does he say, we should check out that concert? Does he talk about the future in the singular or the plural? When a man starts projecting you into his future timeline, he is flirting with commitment. He might say something like, you would love this place I went to last year. We have to go sometime. Even if sometime is vague, the intention is clear. He is visualizing you in his life next month, next year. He is trying on the idea of us like a new suit to see how it fits. And here is a subtle one, the mirror. Humans naturally mirror the people they like. If you lean in, he leans in. If you take a sip of your drink, he takes a sip of his. If you use a certain slang word, he starts using it. He is subconsciously trying to synchronize with you. It is his biology screaming we are the same. If you want to test if he is flirting, do something distinct. Touch your ear, cross your legs, see if he follows suit. Within a minute or two, if he does, he is locked in on you. He is dancing with you, and he does not even know it. But let's go back to the energy of the interaction. A man who likes you will have a nervous energy. We try to play it cool. We try to be James Bond. But if we really like you, the cracks will show. He might stumble over his words. He might drop his keys. He might laugh a little too loud at your jokes. Do not write this off as him being awkward. Frame it as him being affected. You have an effect on him. You make him nervous. That is power. And a man who is affected by you is a man who is feeling the chemicals of attraction. It is the adrenaline, it is the dopamine. If he is too smooth, if he has an answer for everything, if he never misses a beat, he has done this 1,000 times. He is reciting a script. I would take the guy who spills his drink because he got lost in your eyes over the guy who perfectly executes a pickup line any day of the week. The clumsy guy is the one who is actually present with you. The smooth guy is present with his goal. And you do not want to be a goal. You want to be a partner. You want to be the muse. And speaking of being a muse, let's talk about how he treats your other relationships. A guy who is just looking for a good time does not care about your friends or your dog or your weird aunt. He sees them as obstacles. But a guy who is flirting for intimacy wants to win them over. He knows that the way to your heart is through your tribe. If he asks about your best friend by name, if he offers to help your roommate move a couch, that is him campaigning. He is running for the office of boyfriend. He is trying to show you that he fits into your puzzle. He is flirting with your life, not just your body. He is demonstrating utility. Men like to feel useful. If he offers to fix your leaky faucet or take a look at your car, that is his way of saying, I can provide value to you. It is practical flirting. It is not romantic in the Romeo and Juliet sense, but it is deeply romantic in the I am going to take care of things sense. And in a long-term relationship, let me tell you, a guy who fixes the sink is often sexier than the guy who writes a poem. Ideally, you get both, but do not undervalue the acts of service. That is him saying, I want to make your life easier. That is a massive signal of affection. Now, I want to pause here for a second and talk about the darker side of flirting, which is the jealousy ping. This is controversial, but it happens. Sometimes a guy will mention another girl or talk about an ex just to see how you react. It is immature, yes, but it is a form of information gathering. He wants to know if you care. He wants to see if you get a little bit possessive. I am not saying you should tolerate a guy who plays mind games, but understand the origin. He is insecure. He wants to know he matters to you. If you brush it off completely, he might think you are not interested. If you get a little bit annoyed, he gets the validation that you want him. Again, do not feed into toxic behavior, but recognize it for what it is. A clumsy attempt to gauge your interest level. But the healthiest version of this is when he cuts off other options. You might notice he stops looking at his phone when he is with you. He leaves it face down on the table. That is a statement that says nothing on this screen is as important as the woman in front of me. In 2024, that is the ultimate romantic gesture. Undivided attention. If he is checking his notifications every 5 minutes, you are competing with the dopamine hit of the internet and you are losing. But if he ignores a call, if he lets it go to voicemail, he is flirting with the idea of exclusivity. He is prioritizing you. And that is really the core of it all. Priority. Flirting when we like you is just a series of actions that prioritize you above the noise of the rest of the world. It is us turning down the volume on everything else so we can hear you clearly. It is us saying, I am fascinated by this creature and I want to get closer. And that fascination leads to what I call the deep dive questions. A guy who is just passing through will ask, what do you do? Or where are you from? The standard interview questions. The guy who is hooking his emotional claws into you will ask, why do you do that? How did it feel when that happened? What is your biggest regret? He is not just making conversation, he is making a map. He is mapping your emotional landscape so he knows how to navigate it. He wants to know where the landmines are and where the treasure is buried. He is studying you. And being studied by someone who finds you fascinating is one of the most aphrodisiac experiences in the world. It makes you feel seen. And that is the ultimate goal of intimacy, to be fully seen and still accepted. So when he asks those questions, do not give him the rehearsed PR answers. Give him the real stuff. Flirt back with your truth. Show him the mess. If he stays, he is the real deal. If he runs, he was just a tourist. And you do not want a tourist. You want a resident. You want someone who is looking to move in and pay rent in your heart. So pay attention to the consistency. Anyone can be charming for a 2-hour date. Anyone can hold the door open once. But does he text you good morning every day? Does he remember the big meeting you had on Tuesday and ask you about it on Tuesday night? Consistency is the heartbeat of intimacy. Flirting without consistency is just marketing. Flirting with consistency is devotion. And devotion is what we are really looking for. We want to know that we are not just the flavor of the month. So look for the patterns. Is he escalating? Does the flirting get deeper over time, or does it stay at the surface level of you're hot and let's hang out? If it is stuck on repeat, he is stuck in lust. If it is evolving, if it is becoming more specific to you, if the inside jokes are piling up and the physical touch is becoming more possessive and protective, then you are in the zone. You are in the sweet spot where liking is turning into loving. And that is a scary place for him. So be patient. He might pull back a little bit when it gets too real. That is the rubber band effect. He gets close, he gets scared, he pulls away to regain his sense of independence, and then he snaps back. If he pulls away, do not chase him. Let him go. If he likes you, the tension will snap him back to you. If you chase him, you ruin the tension. You ruin the flirtation. You become the pursuer and he becomes the distance. Stay in your feminine power. Stay in the knowing that you are the prize. Because here is the men want to earn you. We value what we work for. If you make it too easy, if you do all the flirting for him, he feels like he got the trophy without playing the game. And we love the game, not the mind games, but the game of courtship, the dance. So let him lead the dance sometimes. Let him stumble. Let him step on your toes. Laugh about it. That laughter is the soundtrack of falling in love. And speaking of laughter, watch his face when you laugh. Does he smile because you are smiling? That is the mirror neurons firing. He is happy because you are happy. That is empathy. That is the foundation of a healthy relationship. If he looks annoyed that you are loud, or he looks around to see if people are watching, he is more concerned with his image than your joy. Drop him. The right guy will think your laugh is the best sound in the room, even if it sounds like a dying seal. He will take pride in being the one who made you make that sound. That is his ego working for you, not against you. He feels like a king because he made his queen smile. That is the dynamic you want. So to wrap up this first part, I want you to stop analyzing every single text message in isolation and start looking at the holistic picture. Is he curious? Is he protective? Is he consistent? Is he vulnerable? These are the 4 pillars of intimate flirting. Curiosity means he wants to know you. Protection means he values you. Consistency means he is reliable. Vulnerability means he trusts you. If you have those 4 things, you do not just have a guy who is flirting, you have a guy who is falling. And that is a beautiful thing, but you have to be open to seeing it. You have to take off the armor of cynicism that says all men are trash or he just wants one thing. If you wear those glasses, that is all you will see. You will miss the subtle hand on your back. You will miss the nervous glance. You will miss the real thing because you were too busy looking for the red flags. Look for the green lights. They are there. And usually they are quiet.